Hey, everybody, what's going on? It is Lauren DeLisa Coleman, and we have another interview for you during the Bentonville Film Festival. For those who don't know, this is Gina Davis's film festival, and it really has a very special vibe because of her initiative and mission in involving inclusion and more. So I have with me today Genevieve Adams, who is the filmmaker behind Simchas and Sorrows. And I'm so glad that you can join us, Genevieve. She's going to get into it with us about the film, and she just got back from Bentonville. So we have, hot off the press, as they say, information. So Genevieve, thank you so much, because we had a little bit of trouble connecting. Who can say why with Zoom? But we are connected now. And so I'm glad that you could wait. Tell us, please, a little bit about Simchas and Sorrows.
Thank you so much for having me, Lauren. Simchas and Sorrows is an independent romantic dramedy about an atheist actress named Agnes, who I play, who attempts to convert to Judaism to marry the man of her dreams.
Which is just a crack up. And, I can't help but think a little bit about Charlotte in Sex and the City, right? That character who did something similar, right?
Yes.
And I remember the character Samantha saying, that's a lot of hoop jumping, honey, for a man, right? So tell me how this story came to you.
Well, it was inspired by real life. My husband is Jewish, and when we got engaged, suddenly his religion became part of the conversation. And actually, Judaism is the only religion that's also an ethnicity. So it carries with it a lot of, complicated and sensitive and, complicated issues. And so we decided to explore our faith and his ethnicity together. And I found out that my grandfather was ethnically Jewish. I learned so much from taking this class with Rabbi Davis at Central Synagogue. I started writing these comedic sketches about it because it was so there was just so much material, and it just evolved from there.
Wow. And so, but unlike Charlotte, who is, I think, Episcopalian, you were atheist or you weren't? The character is atheist.
I went to Catholic school. So me personally, I don't know exactly what I am. And that's part of it. I don't think
you were. Now you are.
I didn't convert in real life. I won't say what happens in the film, but it's just about grappling with those larger questions. And the film is very much about what we worship, what we choose to worship, and who we love. And it attempts to answer those questions, or not answer those questions, but at least talk about those questions through the lens of this Exploring Judaism class.
Got it. So it's inspired by your life, but not actually, mirroring it in every aspect. So this must have been very, very interesting on a number of different levels. Talk to me, I guess, first about just the journey of kind of bringing together your team, because you come to this from, an actor perspective. What was it like kind of taking the reins in terms of okay, this whole baby now is mine?
It was scary and it took a long time, but it was really thrilling and exciting. And I'm lucky that I had such incredible producing team around me. My friend and collaborator, Matt Ott, who I worked with on the first film that I produced called I'm Obsessed with You, But You've Got to Leave Me Alone, with Rachel Brosnahan. Matt joined us pretty early on. Essentially, it was just me and Matt at the beginning. And then we brought on Jackie Donahue and Hannah Swayze, and we were able to get the film going. COVID delayed us a little bit, so that was frustrating. But ultimately, we were able to make the film last summer, and no one got sick. And we filmed in 21 days in Brooklyn and in the New York City area mostly. And it was worth the wait. It was a great experience. I think everyone really enjoyed it.
Very, very cool. And I think everybody who is involved in this project, whether it's in front of the camera or behind, has such a breadth of experience. I mean, and you yourself, don't be shy to talk about what you've accomplished. How did you break in though initially, Genevieve?
Oh, I feel like I'm still doing that. I don't think you ever feel like you, I just started creating things. I love to write always. And I was an English major in college, and I wrote a play and we put it on in the Jean Frankel Theater on Bond Street right after I graduated. I just went in and we rented out the theater, and I cast friends, and I was really lucky to meet the casting director, A.B. Kaufman, early on in my career. And she was really supportive of me always and had me into audition for things. And so that was sort of my entry into the business. And I was really lucky to get cast in Ang Lee's film and in the movie Skeleton Twins and Pascal Ferrand's film. So I had a lot of experience on sets by the time I decided to make this film. And I'm really grateful for that, because watching great directors work has certainly helped me get to where I am.
How amazing is that? What were some of the hardest things for you to be able to do on this film, coming into a director position?
Oh, it was really intimidating. I mean, everyone looks to you for the answers and you have to make them up, even if you don't know the answers. But I was really lucky to have Daniel Contaldo by my side, who is our DP, who is just a lovely human being and a beautiful artist. He really taught me a lot about the technical aspects of making the film and the photography aspect, how to set up the shot, he was just hugely just helpful to me. And our first AD was excellent in keeping the schedule moving along. And all of our actors were just really supportive. I cast really nice people. So I think that's always a good thing. And it just, it was fun.
What's a major tip that you would give either somebody in the same position that you were in before, or like yourself now looking back, like, oh, I wish I had known whatever? I mean, maybe was it as hard as you thought it was going to be, or was it harder, or what?
That's a good question. I would just say don't wait for permission. I mean, I'm a really impatient person, so
am I.
I felt that I wasn't necessarily, I wanted to see this kind of role on film, and I knew what I could do as an actor. And so I sort of wanted to just do it. And I didn't think anyone was going to give me the opportunity. I was going to have to make it for myself. So a manager early on gave me that advice. They were like, no one's going to like give you this, or no one's going to hand you this. You have to make it happen. And I've always been a hard worker. So for me, that was like, okay, that made sense. And however long it takes, I'll just keep making things and keep creating. And that started with I made a lot of comedy sketches in college and was part of an improv troupe. And I just always tried to stay busy and make my own opportunities. And I think it's been a wild ride. It's definitely been challenging and difficult. And there's a lot of self-doubt and a lot of moments where you're like, why am I doing this? But I think if you don't have those moments, you're not being honest with yourself. So
Right. So then tell me about Bentonville. Now, when you were like making this, did you have like in the back of your mind somewhere like, okay, these are the festivals where I want to like apply, or as things started to kind of, gel, or did it just kind of come up?
Bentonville was a wonderful surprise for us. I was emailed by Drea Clark, who I guess read about the film and asked us to submit. So
that's always the best, isn't it? It's always better to be courted than to court, right?
It felt really great. I was really excited that people knew about us. And then I read about the festival, and I love Gina Davis. And I think the work she's doing is absolutely incredible and necessary and brave and all the things. So I was thrilled. And we had a really good time. We weren't able to stay that long because I have a 2-month-old at home.
Wow.
So I had to rush back, but our screening went really well and the Q&A was fun. And
you are no joke, Genevieve, with like a 2-month-old too. I don't even know how you had the time to do this interview. So tell me a little bit about like the energy at Bentonville from your perspective, and a little bit about the Q&A. What maybe like struck you as either a theme for questions or a question that stood out?
Well, I think because the festival is about inclusion and diversity and championing that. There were a few questions about Rabbi Cohen's identity and how we chose to cast Hari Neff in that role. And I came at it I had wonderful casting directors, Harrison Nesbitt and Scotty Anderson. And we just, as I explained to Ben at Bentonville, who was our moderator for the Q&A, we just wanted to cast the best actor for the role. And that was Hari. And so she did an incredible job. And we didn't really set out to make a statement, but I wanted to, I cast her because she was the best actress for the part. So I think that's really important, because I don't think that trying to make I think we make more progress when we just include people as people and not as a,
Absolutely agree with you. And then, because then the spotlight is on it and you're looking for like all these different things, but it's just like, that's hot. Like, just do it. Can rabbis be women, by the way?
Yeah.
I mean, in the faith, is it permitted?
Oh yeah. The woman who taught us in real life, the class I took, is a gay woman, Rabbi April Davis. She's wonderful and intelligent. And I think Judaism has always been, I mean, obviously in the Orthodox tradition, there's a lot of, I don't want to say necessarily misogyny, but there's a lot
I mean, you can't even touch women at certain times and all of these other things. So
I think that's misogynist. But in Reform Judaism and the liberal sects of the religion, there's a lot of agency given to women and women hold a lot of powerful roles within the organization. Okay. So I always found that very appealing. And
they need to speak more then, because I'm just thinking, like, if you were watching, I don't know, just CNN off the top of the head, and a rabbi had to comment on something, you never see a female rabbi. So, I mean, I kind of just assumed, oh, maybe that's not permitted, in the faith, but that's crazy. Okay. We can do a campaign around this, but yeah, very, very cool that this, I mean, I didn't even think about it in the film until, you said somebody asked about it. It was just that natural in the film. But yeah, in real life, you can have a female rabbi. Interesting. So yeah, very, very great place to be there at Bentonville. Was it busier, less busy? I know you probably don't have anything to compare it to, right? Because this was your first year.
This is our first in-person festival. Because
last year, of course, everything was virtual. We covered it virtual as well. But I kind of feel like this year, Tribeca, I think was like double the force, double the energy, because it's been, the year before it was there physically, but not all the way. And then of course the year before, nothing, but they came back super hard this time and it was really exciting. Do you feel that it was like, a full room or just a certain energy or a vibe while you were there?
It was a great energy. We were among the first films to be screened, so it was still at the early part of the festival. And that's just how the scheduling worked out. But it was amazing energy. Everyone was so thrilled to be together physically. You definitely felt that. And there was a really fun opening party on the first night, and Gina spoke, and Doug McMillan, the CEO of Walmart, spoke. And it was just, I felt really honored to be there because it was so, it was just a real celebration of film, of diversity, of being in this industry and being an artist, and of the town. I mean, the city, Bentonville. It was a very welcoming place. People were extremely friendly. So I think it's a wonderful spot in the country to have a film festival, and they certainly seemed very excited to have us there. So
right, I'm sure, right? Because prior to this, like, people were like, "What's Bentonville?" So yeah.
It's the home of Walmart. So,
yeah, well, that's true. But I don't think anybody like kind of would connect, those dots. And certainly if it were known for Walmart, it's certainly not known for creativity, right? Or something that's innovative, something that's edgy. So, yeah.
Well, Alice Walton, who founded Crystal Bridges Museum, is also a sponsor of the Bentonville Film Festival. And she's a wonderful patroness of the art. So I'm glad it's getting the attention it deserves, because there's some really fascinating people that come from there, and there's some really cool art going on there.
Very, very interesting. So now, after all of this fabulousness, Genevieve, how are you going to top yourself?
Oh God, I don't see it like that. I don't know. Well, we're really excited to keep, promoting this film, and we're going to San Francisco Jewish Film Festival in July.
Are you very cool with the baby?
We'll see. I may just fly right back for the screening.
Wow. Okay.
But we'll see. We'll see how he's doing. He's thriving. So, maybe we'll do a family trip. And then Cinequest in August. And then the film, we do have a distribution deal, so it will be coming out.
That was going to be my next question. So you do have a deal. Congrats.
Thank you.
When did so you got that prior to any of the showings at the festivals, or what?
I think it was around the time we started the conversation in April, which is also around the time I gave birth to my son and to the film. So it's been a whirlwind. A lot's been going on. We're really excited. We're still waiting to announce it formally, but we're hoping that the film will be out in the fall.
This is very cool. I mean, so everything should be this easy for you, Genevieve, no?
It's not easy.
It doesn't sound like, but I mean, at least like a flow, right? It's not like, well, we wanted to do this, but then we got stuck because of funding or whatever. It just kind of happened and the deal happened. And this is what you think in your mind. But a lot of times life will give you all kinds of zigzags, but it sounded like you had no zigzags on this. And I think that's always a very good thing, right?
Not to contradict you. We definitely did. I mean, it took years to get this made. So
really?
Don't be fooled.
So you're just giving me the highlights after you started shooting.
Yeah. Oh, no. I started. Yeah. I didn't mean to present like an easy breezy. No, we were delayed twice because of COVID, and I thought it was never going to happen for a while. So this is a long time coming, and it's been many years of me just at my computer emailing people, trying to make it happen. So, we did finally, but it definitely took persistence and a commitment.
Got it. That's good. And I guess final question: why do you think? I don't know, like a festival like Bentonville and this conversation is still relevant. I ask because I remember seeing a few things running around on LinkedIn after, like, say, Kamala Harris, was nominated and et cetera, et cetera. And it was like, oh, you guys are good now because you have this woman here, this woman there, like, great. And I was like, somehow I did not get that email or my check in the mail. So, it's funny that, if you're looking at it from, maybe certain perspectives, or if you're within a certain demographic, you think things are balanced, but inside, that certain things, at least on a personal level, might not be. So I guess that is, kind of the setup to why is Bentonville still important? Because many people would say, we're seeing tons of women at like Sundance or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think, Gina Davis can probably speak to this better than anyone, but there was a film that she was interviewed in on Netflix called This Changes Everything, about addressing exactly what you just asked, how every time, when Thelma and Louise came out and people thought, okay, here are two strong female leads, and it broke box office records and it was so financially successful and critically acclaimed. So two women can really be, these kinds of outlaw characters. And then for years, sort of after that, it didn't really, there wasn't a lot of progress, and there was still very few women being cast in out of the box roles and very few women behind the camera. And the numbers, I don't have them at the top of my head, I should, but the statistics of the number of working women in Hollywood and who especially behind the camera are still very, very small compared to our male counterparts. So there's a lot of work to be done. I think it couldn't be more relevant. I think with those big, when someone like Kamala Harris is elected as vice president, and we see, like you said, these wonderful examples of the change that's happening on a big scale, that's amazing. And we need to hold on to that. But I don't think, it's one step forward, sometimes three steps back. So we have to be vigilant. We have to continue to talk about it and try and, make up for years and years and years where this was not the case. And, there's still a lot to be done. So I definitely think Gina and Bentonville, the work they're doing could not be more relevant.
Great. So anything else you want to add, Genevieve, before we go? I love your name. I love just saying it because a favorite aunt of mine who's now passed away, that was her best friend's name. And they just were like a Thelma and Louise in like the Black version. So, but I have not heard that name or anybody like with that name for like a little while. So I was like, oh, cool, Genevieve. I always feel like Genevieves are more edgy, right? They're not going to be like wearing pink and like holding flowers or anything. They're kind of like you. And that's what I kind of figured. So yeah, I guess your mom consulted with the universe before she picked the name.
Well, I was named after my great grandmother, Genevieve, who was
probably kind of kick-ass too. Like it's something needs to happen. Let me just make it happen. You have to be like that sometimes. But yeah, anything else you want to add?
I think we covered a lot of ground. Just thank you, Lauren, for having me and for talking about this film. We really appreciate
My
it.
pleasure. And what about keeping up with either you, the film, whatever, on social or website, so that when you can formally talk about the announcement of distribution, people can stay up on it.
Great. Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Genevieve Lane Adams _ before Lane _ after Lane. And then Simchas and Sorrows film on Instagram.
Great.
Follow us. Yeah.
Coolness. Well, again, thanks for taking the time. I'm going to let you get back to your 2-month-old. I can't believe we can't even hear him. He must be asleep or chilling. I don't know if 2 months old.
He's a pretty chill baby so far.
Really?
Knock on wood, but
that's good.
I mean, he has his moments, of course, but
right, but not a constant. The constant thing is not good. And somebody brought easily 2 months, maybe 3. I don't know. I'm not an expert, but into one of the screenings during Tribeca, actually official competition, which I had waited for with, the mad buzz on this film, right? So it's Penelope Cruz and Antonio Banderas, in my opinion, some of their best work. And I'm not a critic, but
right.
Baby crying in a screening in a festival. And everybody was just like,
what?
Subtitled, right? So you're concentrating even more. So it's very interesting, I think, about how do women also handle those situations, and is there a right way in that kind of instance? I don't know, but I hope yours stays chill, because that one wasn't. All right, Genevieve, thank you so much for joining us. And you guys, thank you so much for watching. We have much more to bring you from Gina Davis's Bentonville Film Festival. I am Lauren DeLisa Coleman for the Inside series here at Filmio.